much, Felicia. Thank you so much, Felicia, and welcome in, everybody. We are going to have so much fun today. A lot of our local teams had their first games. So wherever you're from, I see some from Austin and New York and Philly. Whatever your national team is that you support or your local team that you support, we're going to go through some projects today that you can use as a jumping point to create projects for your home teams and for your school, or whatever team you're on, whether it's for fun like your book club is a team, or maybe your school, you're the team mom and you want to have some mom swag to wear and stuff like that. So we'll talk about some different things. Please do utilize the Q&A. We have Anita, who is like the expert on Cricut, with us, so she can answer your questions while I'm talking. And so just really use this time to get some answers to some burning questions you may have. I do have a short slide presentation started to get us kind of started and warmed up and familiar with what we're talking about. And then I invite you to go into Design Space with me so we can make whatever team Cricut you're on, either you're a maker or an explorer or a joy. And if you don't have a shirt to put it on today, this is an iron-on project. But go ahead and cut it out. It doesn't have to be the green. I am using the black, the white, and the green. You can use whatever materials you have. So I just encourage you to take this time to create, if you have your school or your book club, whatever you want to create, I want to encourage you to do that with us and then walk through the steps. So why don't we go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to share my screen and we'll start off with a little bit of a presentation here. So this class is from Cricut, and I am Kesley Anderson. I'm your Cricut instructor for the day. And with Cricut, we're going to show your team spirit with custom swag. So this is great. Oh, my picture's kind of blurred out there, but the crowd goes wild. So I always, when my kids were younger and we had sporting events, or I was, the mom of cheering on my child, I always like to wear something that supported the team. And often people would be like, oh, can you make one for me? Or where did you get that? We need team shirts. So I was able to jump in and help out. Now, to get started with making a t-shirt, the supplies you'll need are a blank t-shirt, iron-on vinyl, an easy press mat, and the Cricut cutter. Now, you'll be able to substitute some of these items based on what you have at home or what you have handy. So we'll kind of go through those as I kind of walk through things. So Cricut Iron-On, it has so many different types of iron-on material to choose from. You have express iron-on, everyday, mosaic, a mesh iron-on, the sports flex. There are pattern iron-ons, holographic, foil, and glitter. So whatever style you'll need, you will find an iron-on to match your style. The Cricut Iron-On, before I go there, let me just tell you a little bit about the Cricut Iron-On. The Cricut Iron-On is a vinyl material, and it doesn't have, unlike your permanent or your repositionable vinyl, your removable vinyl, it doesn't have sticky on the back. The stick comes when you heat the vinyl up, and it melts the adhesive on the back of the vinyl to whatever blank you're using. Now, that could be a t-shirt, it could be wood, it could be any number of different blanks that you're using. The important part is to match your blank with your material. So if you're using infusible ink transfer sheet, you want to make sure that you have a shirt, your blank, that is compatible with infusible ink. So we'll talk a little bit about that too as we go on. But the Cricut Iron-On vinyl lasts over 50 washes. So once you get that vinyl on your shirt, it's really not going to go anywhere. It's there to stay, which is fantastic. You can wash your shirt with confidence. One unique iron-on material I want to kind of bring up with this group, since we are talking about teams, is the Sports Flex Iron-On. Now, the Sports Flex Iron-On is designed to work with high poly fabric or a nylon fabric. And it's designed to stretch with your material. So that's why we call it Sports Flex. A lot of sports shirts have that really stretchy material. So Cricut designed an iron-on material that flexes with your shirt material. Now, the Sports Flex, keep in mind, it really is designed for those high poly fibers shirts and like the nylon shirts. It doesn't work as well with, say, a cotton shirt. So you want to make sure you're pairing your blank with the right type of iron-on and your iron-on with the right type of blank. Now, Cricut's Smart Iron-On is relatively new, and you may have seen it at Michael's in the aisle with the regular iron-on. The neat thing about the Smart Iron-On is it also lasts over 50 washes, and it really cuts beautifully and weeds nicely. The great thing about the Cricut Smart Iron-On is it comes in these super long rolls of material, up to 21 feet, I think, no, up to 9 feet, I think is the longest the Smart Iron-On comes, is 9 feet. And what is neat about it is with your Cricut Maker 3 or your Explorer 3, you can cut the smart materials without needing a mat. So if you have been tasked with making team shirts, you can use the smart material to cut all those 9 feet of design. And what that allows you to do is go faster. So you don't need to put your vinyl down on your mat, move it, put it down, move it, put it down. It allows you to cut an entire continuous roll of vinyl, which makes weeding easier because once you get started, you just keep going. And it just makes it faster to craft and heat with the Smart Iron-On. So I have some Smart Iron-On I'm going to be using today to show you how that works. Now, it was designed for the Maker 3 and the Explorer 3 because of the width of the smart material is 13 inches. You can, however, use it on an older Explorer or an older Maker. You just would need to use your cutting mat. So if you have like the Cricut Explorer Air, you can absolutely use the smart materials. It would just have to go on a cutting mat. So you might want to use it on a 24-inch cutting mat. And you'll notice the Cricut paper trimmers are 13 inches in length to be compatible with the smart material. So they've really thought of everything. Now, after we've cut out our design, to adhere it to your shirt, you can use a variety of different heat sources. Today, I'm going to be using my Easy Press 3, my 9x9 Easy Press 3 with the Cricut Heat app. The Easy Press 3s are designed with Bluetooth in them. So you can communicate with an app on your mobile device to set the temperature on the Easy Press 3. Now, you may have an older version of an Easy Press, and you'll be using the Cricut Heat Guide to get just the right settings of temperature and pressure and how long to let it sit before you peel it. And you can do that on the Heat app as well. So if your Easy Press is someplace else, not by your computer, you can just grab your mobile device and get your heat settings. So it really makes it convenient and easy. The other great thing about the Easy Presses, the heat plate is flat, and so the heat on the heat plate is consistent. You get consistent heat all the way around the entire heat plate versus, say, a home iron where you have the majority of your heat is in the center of the iron, and then it kind of cools out as it goes to the edge. You can also change the heat setting on your Easy Presses. So if you wanted to use an infusible ink transfer sheet today using an Easy Press, you could do that because it gets to that high temperature. Your home iron won't get as high as the Easy Press. So when you're using a home iron, you want to use the highest setting, and you want to make sure the steam is turned off. In fact, I empty out any water in my iron. If I'm using a home iron, I'll empty out all the water so that I don't have any chance of steam. The moisture in the steam can interfere with your vinyl adhering to your shirt when it's heated up. So Christine's asking, can I use a regular iron? Yes, Christine, and let me give you some tips on using a regular iron. You want to have it on the heated setting. You also want to make sure that there's no steam, and you'll follow the same steps. So you'll preheat your garment, usually 10 to 15 seconds. You'll place your weeded image on your garment using the liner side up. So you put that onto your preheated material, and then you want to cover it with a Teflon sheet or an ironing cloth. And this is for a couple reasons. One is to protect your iron from any adhesive or vinyl getting stuck to your iron. Trust me, I have done that. I've put my design up on the wrong, facing up the wrong way, and I put my iron on it when I was beginning, and I was able to peel it off. But to avoid that, you want to use the Teflon sheet. The Teflon sheet also kind of gives it a smoother surface because, home irons have those little holes for the vents for the steam. So using the Teflon sheet does give you a little bit of a smoother surface and avoid getting any hole spots on your vinyl done. So you want to apply your pressure to your iron on your material for about 25 to 30 seconds. And then you're going to flip it over and put more pressure on the back, and then follow your directions on your material, whether it's a cool peel or a hot peel. Now, these are the same steps we'll do with an easy press. The other tip I'll give you if you're using a home iron is that you want to work on a flat surface, not your ironing board. Your ironing board has air that comes through the base. Most of them have like that metal grid to it. So cool air comes through, so it doesn't capture the moisture as well as working with an easy press mat. You also want, so if you're working on like your kitchen counter or something, you can just put a terry cloth towel down and then put your blank onto the terry cloth towel and press on that. The terry cloth towel will help capture some of that moisture as you're going through. So those are my tips if you're using a home iron. And it's amazing. You will, after a while, you'll be like, okay, I need to invest in that easy press. So keep your eyes on those if they go on sale at Michael's, and grab one of those, or put it on your a birthday wish list or something, because it really is a game changer using those. So you can also, I have this little chart, and we have a link to where you can download this chart for yourself. This is basically a kind of rule of thumb that I use when I'm making a shirt. It kind of gives me the size of the width of the design that I'm making based on the size of the shirt. So like if you look over here, the extra small adult size is 8.5 inches wide, whereas an extra large shirt, you'd want to make your design 11.5 inches wide. So if you're doing designs for an entire team, you want to make sure that you have the right design size for the shirt size, because it'll on a really big extra large shirt, the 8.5 by 11 can kind of get lost and look a little bit smaller. Just like if you're doing a kid's shirt and you've cut out all your designs in 12-inch size, extra large size, it'll be too big for the kid's shirt. So just keep that in mind. And this is just a general rule of thumb, and you can adjust it as you need to based on your preferences. Now we're going to go ahead, when we go into Design Space, we're going to share, I'm going to share this project here. It says Cricut Team Maker. Are you Cricut Team Explore, or are you Cricut Team Joy? So that's what our shirt project is today, to join the Cricut team, whichever one you're on. And we'll go into Design Space, and you can choose your design, and then we'll go ahead and cut that out and apply that to a shirt. Now, this is a layered design, and it's a little bit different because some parts of it go behind other parts of it. So the first layer down is the white eyes and things. And then you have some of the green parts and then the black parts, and then we come back in with more green. So we'll go through that step by step. And absolutely, you can make a different style shirt if you want. If you want to use a different, like, you know, if you, well, I always do, my kids went to high school and they were Warhawks was their mascot. So we did a lot with the Warhawks. So you may have, you know, your little icon, maybe a Warhawk with the school name and then cheer team or lacrosse team or anything like that. So absolutely, you do not have to make this design. You just are invited to, and we'll share the project with you in the chat. And I'd love to connect with you through my social media. I have a YouTube channel, which doesn't have much on it, but I'm working on it. Instagram and Facebook. So if you have questions after the class on any of these platforms, you can find me at kesley.365. So feel free to reach out with questions. This is your invitation. So let me go ahead and stop sharing this. And so what we're going to do now is I invite you to go in, we'll go into Design Space together and work on the project. If you're on a mobile device or something where you can't put both of the screens next to each other, your Design Space and your Zoom, don't worry. I like to go over the steps 1 or 2 times, well, at least 2 to 3 times. So I'll go over the steps 2 to 3 times so you can watch me do it one time and then go do it in Design Space with me. And then once, if we have time, once we get through this project, I have another project to share with you for your team projects, having fun with your teams. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share in the meeting here the Cricut. This is my Design Space. So if you want to go ahead and open up your Design Space with me. And here we have, this is the home page. And in the chat, we're going to drop a link to the team project. So you can just click on that link and it will take you, it'll open up your, when you click on that link, it will open up your, what is it, like your Safari or your Google, and then you just click open in app, and then it will open it in Design Space. If you come into Design Space first, what I'd like you to do is search for my name. So in this keyword search box right here, we're just going to type in Kesley, K-E-S-L-E-Y, Anderson. And what this will do is it will pull up my profile where I have the project ready to go. So in here, you can see, let's see, my profile is down at the bottom. So if you click on that link, it will take you into my profile. And I want to encourage everybody to create a profile of their own in Design Space. You can add your own picture in the background. You can add your own profile picture, and then you can start following people whose projects you like. There's usually a little follow button under here, and you can follow people's profiles and follow their projects and like their projects. So here is the Cricut project we're going to do, and it's called Team Cricut. So you could even, in the keyword search, type in Team Cricut. When you click on a project, the project information pops open. So you'll see what images I used to create the project, and you can make it as it is, or you can customize the project. So we're going to go ahead and customize the project. So then now your canvas will have the project on the canvas. So I'd like to go ahead and show you that again. I'll walk you through that one more time. From my home screen, I'm going to type in a keyword, either my name, which is Kesley, K-E-S-L-E-Y, Anderson. So there we go. You can just type that in. And when you hit enter, designs and projects I've made might pop up for you. And then you can just scroll to the bottom to community members and click on my profile, and projects that I've shared with the community will show up. So then you can just click on this Team Cricut project and click on Customize. So now based on which team you're on, if they're your Cricut Maker or Cricut Explore or Cricut Joy, you can make that shirt. So first what we're going to do is I'd like everybody to say which team they're on and select that team. And when you select that team, all these pieces are grouped together. So when you click on Team Maker, for example, you can move that to the side and push that over that way. Or if your Team Explore, you want to push that to the side. Or if your Team Joy, you can push that to the side. So from here, you're going to want to take whichever team you're going to do and push it to the side. And then you can either hide or delete the rest. Before doing that, let me just tell you, if you like this project and you want to keep it in your projects, up on the header bar, you'll simply click on the save icon and the save as shows up. So at the save as, you can save this project, whichever, like maybe you're going to do Cricut Team Joy or all of them. This way it allows you to save all of the images before we remove them. So we're just going to save those images, save that project, and now we're going to start manipulating it. So if you're with me on Team Cricut Joy, we're going to delete these other projects because I'm not going to make those. I'm going to do Team Joy for myself today. But if you're doing Team Explore or Team Maker, leave those on your canvas. So once you have it here, just go ahead and click on that, whichever ones you don't want to make, and select delete. And then click on this one and select delete. And then you have Cricut Team Joy. Now, the little Cricut cutie here is an image in Design Space. The word Cricut is an image in Design Space, and Team Joy is a font. All right. So Ruth, yes, this class is being recorded. So you'll be able to, if you just want to watch it, you can just watch it and then go back at your convenience and make the project. So you'll get the recording of it in about 24 hours. So if you just want to, like Ruth is saying, she's a total beginner. If you just want to watch and absorb it all in, totally do that. And then you can make the project afterwards. You don't have to make it with us today. So once you have the image you want to work with, the next step is to size it to your shirt. Now, usually for a women's shirt, I might do 8.5 inches wide. So I would change the width of this to 8.5 inches. I'm also using a 9x9 easy press today for this class. So I'm going to keep my design a little bit on the inside of that 9 inches wide. If I were going bigger, like if I were doing an extra large shirt and I needed to make it an 11-inch design, I would just heat it with one part of it, pick it up, and then heat the other side of the design. So you could do it either way. With it all under one or go bigger. And Cricut does have a 10-inch by 12-inch easy press, or the auto press behind me is bigger too. Now, once you've resized it, then we're going to go ahead and make it. So you just click the make it icon and you'll notice that it puts the different layers on different prepare mats. So I have my little white layer will be right here. Then I have the black layer, and then I have my green layer. And the little cutie and the words Cricut are separate because of the way we're going to layer those down. So those are not connected together like you might expect them to be. Now, I'm going to stop share here. When you're working with iron-on material, let me just grab my little piece of black here. When you're working with iron-on material, you'll notice one side has a matte color and one side is a shiny color. The shiny side is the right side. It has a clear carrier sheet. Let's see if we have one here. This has like the clear carrier sheet. So we cut it out, then weed out the bits we don't need, leaving the bits we want on the carrier sheet like this. So you see it's got like this clear carrier sheet. Now, your machine has to cut on the material itself. So the machine will not cut on the right side of the iron-on because otherwise it would cut into that clear plastic piece. It's going to cut on the back side of your iron-on. So when you're working with iron-on materials, you need to cut into the back side. But then when you put it down on your shirt, you want to put it right side up. So we have to mirror the image so that when it cuts on the back side and you go to put it on your shirt, it will show right side. Okay, so I know that that's kind of like that. If you're a beginner, that's confusing, but once you do it a couple times, you get it. And trust me, we all make the mistake of forgetting to mirror. But since this project has boards on it, we really want to make sure that we mirror the project. So yeah, they're all these images are free. So you should be able to cut them, and you shouldn't be charged for them. They should all be free. Okay, so we'll start with the little cutie, your white mat, and you want to mirror that one. So you just go through each mat and you click this little icon here, and that you turn that little tab on to mirror, and you see how it flips it, pivots it. So when I click mirror, it will flip my image and mirror that image. And you'll see it with the Cricut Team Joy. When I flip that one, see the words are backwards. If you looked in a mirror, it would be the right way. So you have to make sure to do the mirror on all three canvases that we're cutting. So you want to do that on all three canvases. So you just go to each individual mat and click on the mirror as you go down on each mat. So I want to give everybody a chance to do that. So you just click it over and you're good to go. Now, I know I had my chart up there to show you. Let me just show you how I measure a shirt. I'm going to flip over to my overhead camera before I go to cut, so I can show you how I measure a shirt. So when I use, I just bring out my shirt and I would measure the middle of my shirt. So if this is the middle of my shirt and I want it to go about from there to there, I would just take my ruler or my tape measure and figure out where I want it to go. Sometimes I'll put it on myself and figure out where I want it to go. So I did it 8.5 inches, which will give me about 4 1/4 on each side. So it'll be about that big, this wide, which is good for me. I like that. I like that. And I'm doing a medium shirt, so I could even go a little bit bigger, but it's all up to your personal preference. You can even hold it up to your shirt once you've cut it out, and you can see. Now I have a couple different materials on my table. I have the Smart Iron-On, which is in the boxes. I have some everyday iron-on, some glitter iron-on. So if you wanted to add some glitter to your design, you could use the green glitter on your design. And then I do have the Sports Flex here. I'm going to be using the Smart Iron-On for my project. But any of these materials will work for the project today. And I'm actually I'm not going to, I don't think I'm cutting. I could cut the black. I'll try and cut the black. I have this piece here that I was going to use of my Smart Iron-On, but I think I'll be able to cut that just like that. If it's deep, if it's long enough, it's 8 inches. Let's just see. So I'll show you how to cut smart materials without a mat on your Maker 3. And then we'll get there. And let's see. Okay, so let me go back over to here. Let me go back over to my share screen. I'm just want to give everybody a chance to make sure they've got the project and we're ready to make it. So I'll go back in here and we'll share this screen again. So I've got all my little guys flipped around and they're mirrored. So everybody should have their images mirrored. And then we just hit continue. And this is where your software will connect with your machine and you can choose your materials. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to be using Smart Iron-On. So I'm just going to select Smart Iron-On. And if I'm using Smart Iron-On for all 3 layers, I could click this little box right underneath the word default and say to remember my material settings. If you're using different materials, you would not click this. So that, like, if you're going to use the glitter on the green layer down here, you would choose your different material when you get to that layer. So on all of mine, though, I am planning on using the Smart Iron-On. So I'll click Smart Iron-On. Now, if you're on Explore Air, you have the dial. So you can easily switch your materials between there without having to go into the software to change the materials. So one advantage of having that design. Now, you know what, before we go on, I want to show you if you were making a lot of these. So like we were talking about doing your team shirts. So if you had a craft group and you're like, oh, I'm going to make shirts for everybody in my craft group, you could change the quantity of the cuts you make. So right up here, it says project copies in the left-hand corner on your prepare screen. So I could say, you know what, I'm going to make a shirt for myself and 2 of my friends, and I'm going to click apply. So now you'll see I have 3 of each design on my mat, on my prepare screen here. So I can cut that way, and then I can also move them onto a different mat. So I could actually move this guy onto the same mat as this first one here. And then I would just slide that down here and cut it right in there. So you can do that. I'm actually going to go back and only apply 1. But this is great if you do have to make a lot of the same cuts, to just say, okay, I need to make 20 of this cut and move it to 20 pieces, and then make sure everything is mirrored. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit continue. I'm going to select my material is going to be Smart Iron-On. I'm going to select that for all the different colors. We're going to do that. Now, my first one is white, and then black, and then green. Okay, so let me stop showing this as I go over to my overhead. You can see that again. Okay, so when I come over here, so I'm going to have, like I said, I'm using Smart Iron-On, but I have a little piece of white that I'm going to use first to cut out my little Cricut cutie, because I don't need that much space. So I'm going to turn over my design and make sure that my shiny side is down on my mat. When you're using vinyl, you can use a standard grip mat or the light grip mat. Either one will work. And you put your vinyl down, and then we're just going to speed it through. And you'll see it'll cut on the back side of the material, and then we'll weed out the extra pieces that we don't need. So if you're using Smart Materials, you can use it on a mat in an Explore or Maker, or off the mat, like I'm going to do with my black, like this in the Maker 3 or Explore 3. So the first it's going to cut out is my little white guy. Now, the fun thing is, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but when you put something in Design Space and it has multiple colors, the trick to knowing how your material is going to cut, what order it's going to cut in, is it cuts your neutrals, like your white, your black, and then it cuts in rainbow order, which is Roy G. Biv: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And actually, I need to change my, let's see, I need to change that so it's on the mat. Let's try this. We'll see if I can just do it like this. So I'm going to put my Smart Iron-On in my machine here with no mat. There we go. And I'll peel off the other one. Okay. Oh, I don't have enough. Okay, let me just see that. Go back in. Cancel my cut. So let's just do, I'm going to say this is, I need to change this to cut without a mat. And we're going to go ahead and continue that. And I'll select Smart Iron-On. Okay, so now I can cut this without a mat. I had it set to cut with a mat. So it, of course, was looking for a 12-inch sheet. Now, once you've cut it out, what we're going to do is remove the negative space on the image that we don't want to keep, which is tricky to do on your white. So if you have a hard time seeing your cut lines, one thing is you can roll your design a bit and see that where your cut lines start. And the other is to hold it up to a window or a light box, and the light shines through the cut lines. You can also just grab a corner and start peeling back. And you want to be careful that you don't stretch your vinyl, especially if you're using the Sports Flex, because that does stretch a bit. So we just want to make sure we're not stretching our vinyl. Okay, so there's my first little guy. He's right there. And he does not have, the little cutie doesn't have any holes cut out or anything like that. So it's just going to stay solid like that. If, as you're working, if you have questions, let us know and we can answer your questions. All right, so now it's cut that out and I can pop it out here. Now it does have a lot of space on the side, so I'll just trim that off so I can use this design, use the scraps here for another project. I'll just save those pieces and use those for another project at another time. I even might go a little bit and save a little bit more. I always like to, I'm sure you guys are the same way, be frugal with your materials. So I like to save it, because you never know when you just need like that little piece of black or white for an eyeball or something, a little title that you need, just something small. So I do try and I'll cut it down a bit and save out on that. Okay, so I'll save those little scraps, and I have a little box that I put my my scraps in as I go along. So then again, like I can see on my black a little bit better my cut lines. So I'll start peeling those off here. Again, I just get my weeding tool under a corner and I just begin to peel off. And I'm careful, especially like with the Cricut Joy, it has that little dot over the J. I want to make sure that I don't accidentally peel that up. So I'm just going to really, there we go. So I just walk that little spot very carefully. And then the rest of it, I can be a little bit, you know, more aggressive in pulling it off. And here we go. Now, while I'm doing my next cutting is my green piece, I'm going to start to heat up my Easy Press. And you can see how that heats up really easily with my with the Cricut Heat app. So we'll share that. And you can use the Cricut Heat app to get your heat settings for just, you know, like your Easy Press 2 or your Auto Press, which is not connected with Bluetooth. Either of those will work. Okay, so I just need to weed out this little bit here. I love weeding. It's so like, I don't know why, it's so cathartic just to be able to cut these little pieces out. Okay, so we're looking good. Now, my little guy here, this is going to be a little different. I have the inside of the antennas needs to come off. So I'm going to peel those off. And then the eyes will show the white. So I need to peel that off. And this little V in the center between the eyes comes off. So you want to keep your eyeballs on the black, but the white part, we'll take that off. And then we'll take the mouth off here, the cheeky part, I guess, leave his mouth, take the cheeks off. And then inside of his little hands will come off too. So we just peel that off as we go. There we go. So there's that all set up. Now I just have to cut my green piece, and we'll cut the green piece and then weed that out, and I'll get my easy press started to heat up. So that's ready to go too. So for my green piece, I'm just going to cut a little bit off of the Smart. Actually, I'm not even going to cut it off. I'll just feed in the Smart Iron-On vinyl, not using that for this one. Ah, there we go. Okay. So I'll just feed this in as my next piece. All right, let's see. I just have to go back into my design space and make sure that I have it set up to cut not on a mat. So we'll cut this without a mat. Make sure it's mirrored. The mirroring always gets you. Smart Iron-On. Okay, here we go. And so we'll just cut this one next. So again, I put the shiny side down. So if you had a mat, you want to put that shiny side down on your mat. And I load in my green vinyl, and we're just going to go ahead and cut it like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the sparkling green vinyl here, the glitter vinyl, which I love anything glitter. You can use, there's other colors of green. You can cut this out on your Cricut Joy. You can, you know, so you have different options in those colors. Those green colors are a little bit different. But whatever, you know, whatever team you're working on. Okay, so this is cutting out. And I know, Anita, you've been busy answering questions. Jerry, I wish I could tell you what you're doing wrong and why you're not getting it. Because it's showing up. We checked this morning and it's showing up. So I wonder what could be going wrong. Like if anybody else is having trouble having it show up, please let us know. And Jerry, if you want to, hopefully we can get it resolved there. So Ruth, this is a self-healing mat from Cricut. It's 18 inches by 24 inches, and it's a great working surface because I can just line up my projects right on this space and not have to worry about damaging my desk or anything like that. So it's really, I really enjoy using this as my work surface. You can use an X-Acto knife right on it, and it won't cause any harm or anything like that to it. That's the self-healing part of it. So, okay, here we are with our green layer. I'm just gonna let this start peeling off. And I've got my easy press heating up. So we're gonna just keep working our way through here. Now, one of the questions I get a lot is, how do you know how far down the shirt from the collar you should put the image? So a lot of times I use a 2 to 3 finger rule. If I'm doing a shirt for myself or larger, I use, well, you can even go as big as 4 fingers. So usually for a woman's shirt, I will do it at a, let's see, for the women's shirt. Sorry, let me figure out which ones I need to cut out here. I need to, so there's this little green part will go inside the black of your cutie. So you'll have that little green antenna dot and then the cheeky part and the hands part. So you want to keep that. I think that's all connected. That's all together. So out of the Cricut Cutie on this layer, just pull out the eyes is all you need to do. Now we do want to cut this apart because we will be adhering them separately. So go ahead and cut between your Cricut Cutie here. And then I'm also going to cut on this side. I'm going to cut really close to that C, and I'll show you why when we start pressing it. But sometimes if your liner paper goes across something you've already pressed down, it can cause a line. So I'm just going to go really close to that C there and avoid any issues when because this goes down here, and then we build up our Cricut Cutie. So we build up our Cricut Cutie, and then we put down the black and then the green. So let me show you how this is going to go together. So first we put down the Cricut Cutie is going to go down on your shirt first, and then the then your little green layer. Now, if you wanted to take scissors, you could take scissors and clip out those little white antennas, leave the little green there, but you can clip out the white part of the antennas. You don't really have to have those on here, but they're part of the design, so I'm leaving them on mine. And then the black will go down, and then the Cricut will go down. The green Cricut will go down as your last and final layer. So this is how it will layer down onto your shirt. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could just completely leave off the white layer if you're using a white shirt and let the white from the shirt pop through. I cut it out of vinyl because I kind of like it all to be the same. So what I'm going to do is grab my Easy Press and my phone, and I'm going to show you. Let me just dial this back a little bit so you can see. On my phone, I have my Cricut Design app, the Cricut Heat app, and Cricut Joy. So I'm going to go to the Cricut Heat app, and this is available on Android and iOS devices. And if you don't have an Easy Press 3, you can open the heat guide. And when you open the heat guide, you would select what machine you're using to press with, what your base transfer material is. So like I would scroll down, I'm using Smart Iron-On, and my base material is going to be the Cricut t-shirt. And then I would say, I'm using the Cricut pressing mat, and I would apply those choices, and it would tell me to preheat for 5 seconds at 315 degrees. Can you see this? At 315 degrees for 30 seconds. So that's how you would use your the Cricut Heat app to get to the Cricut guide. Now, if your Easy Press is an Easy Press 3, and you want to see how it connects with your machine, let me show you. Let me pull up my thing here, my machine, and I'll show you how that all comes together. I gotta move this up the way. Okay, so we'll show you how all that comes together. I've turned mine on, and it's already set at 315 degrees. But if I wanted to, let me just change my setting here. Now, I can still manually change it. I can still use the dials and manually change it, and it will change it down. And let me go to my settings and make sure that I'm ready to communicate. My Bluetooth is on. So first you want to make sure your Bluetooth is on and that your device is connected with your Bluetooth. So let me see. Got my makers. Don't have my Easy Press connected yet. So let me see if I can do it through here. I'm doing Smart Iron-On, and it's a t-shirt. So let's see if it'll connect. And I have two of the same Easy Press, and I never remember which one is which. I need to mark it on my app. So I must have the wrong one selected. So let me go back here. There, I was looking to see because the Easy Press number is on the back side, which Easy Press it is. So let me see if it's this one here. So I'll be using Smart Iron-On with the Cricut t-shirt and my next. So it's in those. So it's telling me that my machine right now is at 303 degrees, and it's going to start heating up to that 315 degree temperature. So we'll just leave that right there. So you can see how that heats up. Now, the first thing it tells me to do is I'll preheat with light pressure on my shirt. So I'm going to slide my easy press over. So you can see that. And I'm going to do a 5-second preheat on my shirt. So I'm just going to put my shirt down, and we'll do a 5-second easy 5-second easy press right on the middle of my shirt here. And that helps kind of also get rid of some wrinkles. Now, one thing, if you're making shirts for people on your team or something like that, I recommend not pre-washing them, because the laundry detergent you use may be different than the laundry detergent somebody else uses. So I do recommend not pre-washing the shirts when you're making them for other people. Now, if you're making them for your family, then you can totally pre-wash it, no problem. This is another project in my profile, and it's a centering piece that you can use a pen in your Cricut machine to draw these lines out and then cut it out. And it's basically a guide to help me line up my my designs. So usually this is the collar. So the collar is right about there. And then I have, my 3-finger guide, and it fits with that. With a V-neck shirt, you're going to probably go up a little bit higher. So I'll probably go 2 fingers from the V-neck. So when I say 2 to 3 fingers, that's what I mean. You're going to go 2 fingers down, and I'll put this at the 2-finger mark on the center fold there, where the center of my V-neck is. And this will help me line up my design so it's centered on my shirt. Now, you might think you would just grab your design and pop it down. But the first layer, remember, we're going to put down is that white layer. So what I'm going to do is fold my design in half and find the center of my design that way. You can also use a ruler to find it, but the folding it in half kind of works, and it's like a good rule of thumb there. So I just fold that in half, and I'm going to line up the it's right on that eye, almost right onto my guide here. So the center of my design is on the center of my guide, and then I can take a tape measure and measure the sides here to make sure that it's the same, and it's about the same. Right across your armpits is a good spot for your design to go. So that's about a good spot there. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is since my green is my last line, I'm going to pull that up, and my white is my first color. What I'm going to do is use this positioning to layer my white down. So I'm going to put my white on my design like this. So I have the right positioning, and then I'll put that on my shirt, and then I'll peel this up. Now, what I'll do is I will layer it piece by piece. So this is my first piece here. And when you're doing your first piece, you don't have to use as long a heat as when you do your last piece. So I'm actually going to set my timer to 15 seconds because I'm doing multiple pieces. Now, let's do 20 seconds. Now, if I were doing, say, if I were doing the glitter vinyl or something like that, obviously you have to change your temperature when you get to that stage. So it does say apply light pressure. So we're just going to apply some light pressure. And then I'm going to have to let it cool for a couple minutes before I can do the next layer. So we're just going to let that go on there, and then we'll let this cool down a little bit. And I would let it cool more, but I know we're getting short on time. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel this off. Now, if you peel it too soon, your vinyl will crinkle. So if you're doing this at home, give yourself the time to let it dry and not peel it off before, not let it dry, let it cool down, and don't peel it off before it cools down. So now we're just going to take our green little guy here. This is the outline, and this is the next layer. So we're going to line that up over the white and do the same thing. So I'm going to put that down and give it 15 seconds and push this down. And I just do light pressure. So it's like really one hand on there. That's all I'm doing. or no hands. Since I'm not really, since we're building onto the shirt with so many different layers. Okay. All right, so there's my green layer. I'm going to take that off. And again, I normally would not go and let it dry and let it cool off before removing it. Okay. Now we're going to just bring back our whole cutie and get that lined up. The circle is lined up under the V just about, and I'm lining up every piece on top of the other. So my antennas here are lined up, my little cuties lined up, and everything is all lined up. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for about 15 seconds. Now you'll notice I do have a little bit hanging off the edge here. Let's see if I can get it all under one. There we go. Now, since this is the bigger part, I am going to let it sit and let it cool off for just a few seconds. So if you have any last minute questions, let me know that we can answer in the class. And just to cool it off, I just kind of wave it in the air and I let it cool off a little bit. If you have questions after the class that we didn't get to in the class, please do feel free to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Those are probably the best places to reach out to me. And I know Cricut will send you the video. They'll post the video up, so you'll get to watch the video again if you have questions as you go. Now, if you're peeling it, at this point, we're doing multiple layers still. So we're not quite done with our layers. So if a little piece of it comes up, not to worry, we're going to heat it one last time at that high temperature for the full time, for the full length of time, which the recommended time is 50 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and take my little guy here, my last C, and what I like to do is line up on the center C there, and then sort of place it down as I go. And if you need to kind of massage your shirt just a little bit, you can do that too. And by massage your shirt, I mean like if you have to squinch your shirt in a little bit to get it all to fit. Now, part of my design is hanging off. So you see down here, my design is not covered by any vinyl or anything like that. What I'm going to do, I don't want to have lines going through my design. So I'm just going to trim off this last clear part down here. Should have done that before positioning it. I might have to reposition. And I trimmed that close to the C there. And that's so that I don't get any lines of the plastic onto the vinyl that I've already put down. It doesn't always happen. It just happens sometimes. So I can just prevent that any lines happening if I do it that way. So once I've got that cut off, then if you're doing multiple sheets, you can put a piece of butcher paper down or like a Teflon sheet like this. This is the Teflon roll I got at Michael's. And I'm going to put my timer at 50 seconds here. Anita, were there any questions you weren't able to get to that you need me to answer live?
No, I think we've got everyone on the project and we've got them going.
Yay. And if you make the project, do tag Cricut with Michaels or Make with Michaels on Instagram or anything like that. We'd love to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're using a silicone sheet that comes in a roll at Michael's, is that correct?
Yes, I think it's called a Teflon sheet. It's not quite
okay.
Yeah, it's just a little Teflon sheet. I can't remember which aisle I found it in. It's a great work surface. Like if I'm doing glue gunning or something like that, I'll use it on the glue gun, underneath the glue gun, because it just doesn't damage my surface. Or if you're painting something like that, this is called I think it's called a Teflon sheet that I'm using here.
I'll quickly look that up.
Okay, and there we go. There's our little guy, and I'm just going to let that cool off. And you can use butcher paper too. Like if you don't have that sheet, you can use butcher paper or an ironing cloth. Either one will work there. And you do, like at this level, you do want to be patient and let your design cool. especially when you're working with like a bigger piece like this, because you don't want your vinyl to wrinkle. Like I'll show you, this is an example where I actually wanted it to wrinkle. I used this gold foil and I peeled it off when it was still really hot, and it gave me this nice crinkled look. So I actually was going for that look on this one, but I was not on other ones. Okay, so once it's cool to the touch, I can just peel this back, and there's my design. There we go. So no matter which team you're on, Team Joy, Team Maker, Team Explore, you can make a shirt for your team. And thank you guys so much. Keep following along with my profile in Design Space. Sure, Peg, I'll do that right now. Follow along in Design Space because I'll have a lot more projects as we kick into the fall and football season specifically geared towards those. So the first layer is your white layer, and that's the little eyeballs. So that's your first layer will be the eyes. You see, and then your second layer is the green part of the Cricut Cutie. Then you put the black down, and then the word Cricut goes last. So the great thing about using Iron-On for a project like this is that you can kind of set it first and then take it, like, so if you get one in the wrong order, you can take it apart and redo it before you heat it and put it down. So it's white eyes, green cutie face, black layer, because there's only one black layer, and then the word Cricut on top of all that. All right, and I think we are up to our time. Thank you guys so much. This was fun. I can't wait to see what you do and what you create. Thank you so much for joining us.